Peace, greetings. Yes, red camera eye here. Trying not to look at myself, but my camera is like on the side of the tablet, and it's like something. End up looking straight at yourself, thinking you're looking straight at the camera, but I realize I want to look this way. I look more like I'm looking straight ahead rather than this way, which is straight ahead to me. But anyways, peace, love, and divine guidance to you all. I am here to discuss the new moon and the thinning of the veil. So the new moon it was on the 30th in the northern hemisphere, which is where I am, and the 31st on the southern hemisphere. Okay, and the new moon is 8 degrees in Scorpio. I have notes. I have my notes here because otherwise I'll forget things, and I don't like to skip the important details. And I'm not down with the editing just yet, so I'll try to get it all in. So, 8 degrees in Scorpio, and so southern and northern hemisphere. Let's talk about Scorpio. So Scorpio, well, first let's talk about the new moon. The new moon is the best time to do rituals. Don't be spooked out by the term rituals as well. Brushing your teeth is a ritual, just things that you do on a regular basis consistently for a desired outcome. So new moon is all about gaining, bringing things forth to you, increasing things, and it's also prime time to set intentions of always goodwill. Also, new moon is a good time. New moon is like a whole round is something because it's when the sun and the moon meets at the same time in the sky, and so like there's a lot of power behind a new moon. A lot of people think the full moon is the most powerful, and it is. It's got its power in a sense where it's more intense, and it's the best way to release and let go of things, 100%. But when it comes to the new moon, you can also release and let go of things, but it's also about bringing things towards you. So that gives it a little bit extra more oomph, So yeah, it's an initiative moon because it's in the sun, and the sun represents initiation and vitality. It's a kind of masculine force, and so the new moon is all about gaining, increasing, initiating, bringing forth, bringing closer to you. And as the new moon is in Scorpio, as well as the sun being in Scorpio, because it's nice so Scorpio. How do you say it? Scorpio season. It being that November, so Scorpio starts in October, 23rd, I believe, and ends on the 22nd or the 23rd. I was born on the 22nd, so some people read it as the 23rd or the 21st. So anyhow, Scorpio, that's me. At least that's my sun sign. We should get into that as well. That you are more than just your sun sign. You are your moon sign, your rising sign. You are all the other planetary bodies that surround your time of birth, closest to you. But whatever is closest to you, in a sense that we have the main bodies: Mercury, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, quite close by, and we also have Neptune, Pluto, and Uranus, which is a bit further out. But they are more further out, but they govern a larger scope of the earth. That makes sense. So they are also part of us, and is also the whole celestial body is really a part of us. We are the outerverse inside as well as outside. So when we're talking about Scorpio, everybody knows Scorpio for being like sexually driven. So of course this new moon is a great time to deal with sexual matters, whether it's dealing with wanting more sex in your life, getting up your libido, getting rid of a sexual partner, or bringing in a sexual partner. And talking about partnerships, actually, Magic Mike, the peace dealer, just recently brought to light to me that although we look at Libra as being the partnership kind of sector of the sky, Scorpio is more so in a sense where it deepens relationships. So, because Libra, is quite a mental sign. It is an air sign. So it's a swords as well in the tarot. It represents justice as well in the tarot. Um, it represents more the thinking, you know, and Scorpio is more the feeling. So you can think about what kind of partnerships you want when Libra is in the new moon phase. But when Scorpio's in the new moon phase, you can feel that, and your feelings can bring a lot more to you than your thoughts. You know, if you feel a certain way, that's more that's your vibration, and you're easier to manifest that feeling than your thought. Don't get twisted, your thoughts definitely do manifest, but your feelings can manifest twice as fast. Okay, so yeah, partnerships, definitely partnerships, and also Scorpio is in the house of finance and inheritance, other people's monies. So alongside partnerships, if you've got any businesses that you want to thrive, then definitely this is a good time to make a ritual on that. And when I say rituals, good rituals to do for the new moon is simply just write these things down. Write it down, make a list. I always make a list. Got some papers here, but I haven't done my new moon ritual yet. Look, it's got the Scorpio new moon. If you could read October 30th, but nothing on the page yet. Because I've been very mental these last few days, and I mean to do that before the night goes by. But yeah, I've been plotting it in my head, and when I write it down, I want to get it very clear, because I've been writing like in the last year, probably say 8 to 9 months. I've been on this new moon and working with the new moon and the full moons, and so I've been writing. But I've been very generic with it, and as it's come to my depths, Scorpio being very in depth and very deep in its essence, I've been realizing that I can't be so vague with things. I have to be more clear. And a lot of messages have come to me that way, that I need to be more clear. So that's what I'm working on right now. So before I start jotting down and doing that magic spell work, which is spelling and writing, I want to make sure I got it clear, so I get what I actually want. So, deepening relationships. Yeah, so we know that Scorpio, alongside it being that um, dealing with sexual matters, it's also ruled, as well as Mars, which is that action, go get kind of influence. Um, Also Pluto, and Pluto's all about regeneration and transformation and change, and that's what Scorpio's all about. And Scorpio rules, or is denoted as the death card in the tarot, and that means death means transformation. I always, like, I find a lot of people around me have issues or dealings with, I mean, we all have people that die around us, right? But it's not a horrible thing. I know it's just like you miss people because they're not there physically. But I always say you are so much stronger when you are not in physical, because the energies that you don't see comes before the energy that you do see. So hence, you have more power in the unseen than you do in the seen. Because when you're seen, you can be detected. You know what I'm saying? It's like me being a detective at the same time. That Scorpio, I'm gonna be like really pulling out my character right now, because it's in my sun and it's in my moon right now. So, but also my moon is actually Sagittarius, and I'm also born on the cusp of Scorpio. So I've got a lot of Sagittarius in my chart as well. Again, death is not a bad thing. It's a transformation. It's a transmutation of energy. Whether physical or non-physical, we are energy, and so once someone dies, you don't go away. Your energy can still be around, even in the things and your objects, as well as your energy just being in the etheric, in the ethers, in the fifth sense. So that means that you can still be called upon. You can still be there to help. You can probably help people more stronger when you're not there than when you are there. Because when like how often, I know a lot of people would say, like, if when their parent passes or something, or their close siblings are passed, not all the time they'll be telling you things and you take it on. But if they were whispering things in your ear and you find it's like a divine intuition in a standing, in a knowing, you're more likely to go with that. But if they're talking at you, then you might be like, whatever. So there's a power in the unseen. There's definitely a lot of power in the unseen. So don't fear death, and don't be too sad when someone does die. Celebrate their life. Celebrate their life. I just recently watched something with Toya Wright, and she apparently her two brothers just recently passed away. And she was in an interview at the Breakfast Club, and she was talking about people kind of being like, "Well, what were you doing? Why are you having a party?" It's like it's a celebration of their life, and that is like on point. I love that. We do this as well. We, as much Angolans, we do party for people that's passed on. We do like kind of have that dark time where we won't have any TV on and stuff like that, but we come together, we congregate, we laugh, we party. Not like, maybe not like party hard, but we definitely party. We come together and bring more energies together. I mean, again, it's all about celebrating life, because life is never dead, life is never gone. Even if the physical person is gone, the energy is still there. And even if you don't understand that, know that you are still here. So what you can do always, I love this that I do say to people, that you take on the good that they show you and show it to the world. Yeah, I know it's a hard thing, but it's definitely not something that you can't overcome. What's up, baby? 1 minute. I'm gonna do a recording. You have to hold on. I'll be back. Back. So, yes. And more about Scorpio and more things that we can do while the moon is new in Scorpio is deal with your obsessions. Deal with your obsessions. Scorpios can obsess about things, like, and deal with your control issues. You can't control anything outside of yourself. I'm learning. You cannot control anything outside of yourself. You can only about control yourself. And I mean, don't get twisted. Some people have the power because they have very strong will. But you don't want to do that, because that is going to take you off your course. And if you take somebody else off their course, then you only bring detriment to yourself. Even if you're trying to bring detriment to them, it will inevitably come to you as well. Controlling is a big issue that a lot of us have, and I've dealt with all my life, from my parent to my partner to, I mean, ex and all these things. But yes, it's like me being one thing about when you I work on knowing thyself. I think it's very important. And in the last, say, 7 to 8 years, I've been just researching. Well, if I say 9 years, I've really begun within myself and trying to figure out the meaning to life. And in the last 7 to 8 years, I've been really researching. And in the last five, so I would say 6 to 7 years, I've been working on what it takes to go within and really know the in. And because I've always been, I grew up being very religious, and not even because, or my parents were both brought up in a religious setting, but they didn't really follow it through to adulthood. But when I came along, I'm the firstborn child of my parents, and they, how can I say, my mum kind of introduced me to Jehovah Witness, and so I had teachers coming in to help me read the Bible on a Sunday and stuff like that. And then we went into Catholicism, and again, because I got baptized and stuff, but I never really. My parents didn't really go to church, but I always used to want to go to church. And I used to go to church with my friends, go to all their like dominations, Pentecostal, Baptist, all of that. And I always used to drag my younger cousins to come to church with me as well, because I found one that I liked and it was nearby the house. So we'd go there too. And then, whilst at the Catholic church, I realized that there's something just not sitting right with me. There's things that's not being answered. There's things I'm not able to inner stands and the things that people are not being completely open about. And I see the actions of people as well doesn't correspond with the livelihood or livelihood that you should be following as I see it, as I thought it should be, like, So I kind of drew away. And then I went to college and I met my first boyfriend, my first proper boyfriend. And you know what that means when you say first proper boyfriend. But yeah, college times. And it just, I opened doors. Yeah, I opened doors. So I had my first sexual experience. And it just made me be even, but I mean, my revelation came before I opened that door. But I realized that I didn't feel like I opened the door prematurely, but I did feel like there's still a part of me that needs some kind of understanding as to what makes us who we are and who made us as we are. And I just remember even college days and him, my partner at the time, like we used to be into the astrology. I used to read the astrological charts or whatever. Actually, the first person I think ever brought that to light was a cousin of mine called Layla. She had this big astrology book, and yeah, and I never really took too much to it, but it was in my eyes, and even after that, I don't know how reading the back of the Metro became a thing, but every day, and I used to travel far to get to college. Every day without look, if I didn't get Metro, I was upset. If I didn't get to read that Metro for the day, I was pissed. So that was always the thing. I always wanted to know astrology, and then I got into numerology. Um, and what came after numerology? It was astrology and numerology. Oh, I love numerology. Numbers is like amazing, and I say like numbers is the first science. Like everything is a math. Everything is a math. Like people say, the world and everything is science. Yes, science comes from maths. Like before there were letters. Obviously there were pictures, but like how do you know what was first before the numbers? You can't. I mean, if you really sit down and think about it, what can come before numbers? Even if you're not writing them out, you're thinking like, okay, there's one person and two persons. Even if you don't know that term or you don't know words like that, there's one and there's two and there's three, and you can't get away from counting on numbers. And that's back to my Scorpio personality. Then wanting and getting to know the esoteric things, the occult sciences and hidden truths and hidden knowledges. Like this is an obtain. No, that's not the word. Optive. I don't think that's the word I'm looking for either. Opportune time to look into hidden sciences and go deep with your knowledge, go deep with your research. Don't do the surface thing because Scorpio is nothing about that. And if you want to pick up in this is like I say with the new moon, this is the time to pick up the energy of whatever sign the moon is in. And we must understand again, we're not only our sun sign or our moon sign or our rising sign. And why I say we're all the planets and all the signs is because every day the moon changes phases. Every month the sun changes its phases. We go round and round the whole zodiac. And so we should be able to manifest things best in our life. We have to be able to move with the times. If we get stuck and we get stagnant, we're in a problem. And so get to know what is going on outside of you so you know how to best deal with the inside of you. And that's like right now, the moon is in Scorpio. Even if you're like opposite of Scorpio, which is Taurus, like get into that Scorpio side of you, get in that core Scorpio zone. Like learn what you can for the month in regards to being a Scorpio. And then next month you move along, but you always have the core inner you anyway, so you don't ever feel like you're just fleeting and you're changing and you're fickle or anything like that. It's not about that. It's about being whole rounded, being part of the whole, and that is when you can better ascend or better become be part of the infinite one, be whole in your soul. There you go, be whole in your soul. Okay, back to some talk about Scorpio traits. So obsession and control. Yes, and they say that Scorpios hold grudges and stuff. Like, I mean, I'm saying I don't hold grudges like that, but I can get pissed off as people, and I do remember things. I don't easily forget, but I can definitely let go. So that helps. But it's true because when grudges do hold you back. Like they say, like when you say sorry or when you're having to forgive somebody, you're not forgiving them for them. You're forgiving them for yourself because the more you hang on to that hurt, that pain, that frustration, it's holding you back. It's setting you back. Like it don't matter what the person has done, you have to be able to release and let go of that feeling, that thoughts, those energies. Because if you keep it lingering, it stops you, it blocks you. So that is why it's important to let go of pent up energy, you know, let go of low vibrations as well. I mean, like, don't get twisted. I always say that you need to be dark and light. You need to be, you need to be happy and sad. You need to be able to go through both energies to understand and really relish in the other. You know what I'm saying? You don't really want to relish in the dark, but you do want to understand what it is to be dark so you can more appreciate the light. And what was I saying? Yeah, so just there is a time to be angry, there is a time to be upset, there is a time for everything. But don't get stuck nowhere. Like stagnation is a bitch. I said it. Stagnation is a bitch. Like, don't be afraid to be in that shadow side because we need the shadow as well as the light. You can't get away. You can't run away from the shadow. My children always, whenever they see their shadow, they always get fascinated. I was like, and I always say to them, everybody has a shadow side. That's what I say to them. Everybody has a shadow side. You can't run away from your shadow. Just know that it's there, and you know what? That's where I stop with them at this age. But yeah, know that it's there and work with it when it's necessary. Because sometimes we need to be angry to get things done. Some people only see anger. You don't. I mean, I can't say angry, but there was one time when I had some things in the house and it wasn't mine. It was my sister's friends, and I wanted it to get rid of them, and they weren't listening to me. I told them like, you need to get your stuff shifted, and I'm trying to clear out the stuff, and blah, blah, blah. And they wasn't hearing my nice tone and my nice way of my calm way of doing it. But when there was one night, I said, final straw, look, you need to get the stuff out of the house tonight. You need like when I got like that, it got shifted. Do you know what I'm saying? And so you need both sides. Like you can't be na 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 every time, but you definitely don't want to be rah 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 every time either. I like I come like that all the time. I am left and I'm right. Sometimes people only see the left. Some people always only take on the right. But I'm forever on polarities. I'm always trying to keep the balance, of course. If I get angry and I don't stay angry, I move over and try to stay a little bit neutral. I get to the neutral point when I finish the anger, and then I eventually go to the lighter side. But yeah, it's all about being neutral, and yeah, you have to tip the scale sometimes. You have to tip the scale sometimes. So, what else we got? Yeah, so again, new moon, set the intention, set the intention. My biggest thing that came to mind that I haven't written down yet for this new moon is to deepen my relationship with my divine partner, and deepen my relationship with my siblings, and deepen my relationship with my children. You know, and yeah, and Scorpio, we're very psychic. Like, I mean, we all are psychic. We all have that power to be intuitive, to even be clairvoyant, to hear the voice of divine or our angels and our guides. But depending on the lifestyle you're living, sometimes we block that. So, but Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer came to mind are very intuitive. And funny because they're all water signs. Water signs are very deep in that sense, but Cancer has a more of a logical side to them because they're not just water; they're water and earth. Because the crab can live in the water and the earth, so they have more balance to them in that water sense. But Scorpio are deep, very deep, in depth, and they go deep, and the Pisces kind of they step back a little bit, if that makes sense. They kind of How do I put it? They're not. I wouldn't say the word hidden came to mind, but it's not hidden that I'm looking for. I'm saying more they can be a bit reclusive and more in the shadows, more in the background. But they'll watch you from afar and know exactly what it is. Know exactly what it is, but they might not say. You know, Scorpios on the other hand, they're more philosophical. They'll come out and express what they're feeling because they have that Mars energy as well. So and Mars is up front. It's all about personality and action. So Mars is right in your face about it, you know. And likewise, the Scorpio is okay. Um, what else have I got on my notes? Yeah. So also Scorpio is known to be very powerful in their nature, and they're powerful in their presence. Like you can't not see a Scorpio about the place. You know, some people they pass you, you don't even realize, and maybe you might catch a glimpse of it unless you know them. But Scorpios have a thing about always being attractive, and they're always and attractive. You know, it could be good looking, but also being like things attract to them. You know, and obviously when you have power, when you have a certain kind of power, you people that want your power will come to you, and people that want to be like you will come to you, and yeah, So I'll be mindful of that. What else? Yeah, fundamentally, Scorpio is about transformation and change. Like they do that. They transform and change like at the drop of a dime, as people say, or the speed of a bullet or something like that. Um, but the archangel that rules Scorpio is Jeremiah, and he's known as the liberator. And the goddess that is attached to Scorpio is Kali, and also Sekhmet, and also Oya. Okay, and a good incense, or not incense, more essential oil for Scorpio is myrrh. Myrrh of the frankincense and myrrh, yes. And a good crystals for Scorpio is topaz, garnet, malachite, obsidian, aquamarine, turquoise. I said turquoise and topaz, two different ones, and kunzite. And also, to do this specific new moon, Mercury is also in Scorpio, and Mercury is all about communications. Communications. So, be it communication on the phone, email, even technology. Computers, electronics, even like those wires up top of us and stuff like that. And I've thought of trains, train tracks and stuff like that. Anything technological, and communications. Okay, and also there's an aspect with this new moon that harmonizes with Neptune, and Neptune is the planet, one of the outer planets that is attached to the divine. So if you want to make your intentions, make it divine, and it will more likely come to fruition. And before that, you have to be able to clear, forgive, and let go of things that you know is holding you back, especially low vibrational things, addictions, people, things, places, whatever. You have to be able to let go of these things to really be able to manifest what you want. So in any aspect, in any instance, like if you really want to work with the moon magic, I mean that's in general. If you want things to really come to you in the way, if you really want to access your power and reignite your power, you have to be able to let go of things that's pulling you down. And what's pulling you down is low energy, low vibrational energy. So I just want to make sure I've got everything on my notes. Oh yes, and best thing to heal right now any ailments that you might have of the reproductive organs, reproductive systems. This new moon is the one to go for. Deal with that. Look up remedies or whatever to deal with your reproductive organs. male, female, deal with that this new moon. It'll be great for you. It'll be more easily attained. And be mindful that these things don't happen in an instant, depending on your power and how much you've been able to clear away. It could work from 6 months to 3 months to 2 months to 2 weeks or 2 days, depending on you specifically. Um, yes, just looking over my notes, I think that is all. Yes. So that is it. Oh, and I said I wanted to talk about this unveiling, or what do you call it? They say it's the veil is thinning in. As it's I call All Saints Eve, Hallows Eve, All Souls, and Halloween. And why I say we, but I've never really been one to celebrate it until I got into knowledge that it's nothing spooky. It's actually just a giving thanks to energies that's not longer here, of souls, And they say maybe when you get a little bit deeper, because it's not that well known, but at this time is when the veil is thinning. And like when I say the veil, I mean the the doorway from the physical to the non-physical. Let's say, I should do it this way because the dark comes before the light, right? So it's a doorway. Why? Because if you look at the zodiac sign, I just had this, I would call it epiphany, but I get them a bit. And it's like we have the first six zodiacs from Aries to Virgo are the signs that's more to do with the outer self, from the personality to the personality being Aries, Taurus being possessions and tangible things. Um, Thirdly, being Gemini, which is about thinking and how your mind works. Gemini, Cancer, which is all about nurture and home. Um, Cancer, you have to count them. That's a Cancer. Leo, which is all about creativity and fatherhood. Um, and the Sun. And then you have Virgo, which is all about health and business. You know, very vague. There's a lot more to each sign, but that's the first six is all about the almost the conscious side of you, and then the next six is all about the subconscious side of you, from Libra to being partnerships. And Libra also rules the house of hidden enemies, or no, sorry, known enemies. So these are kind of like darker subconscious issues that come along with the next six zodiac signs. So Scorpio is all about depth, intensity, power, psychic abilities, and Sagittarius is all about philosophy, higher knowledge, higher knowing. Capricorn is known as the devil card in the tarot for the reason that it deals with a lot of addictions. And like if you know any Capricorns, they're die-hard workaholics, and that in itself is an addiction. Anytime you put too much emphasis on something, it becomes something that can become a blockage. Like any kind of obsession, any kind of overdoing of something is an issue. That's why we always have to strive for balance, strive for moderation in all that we do. So Mama hasn't finished recording yet, please. I need quiet. Mama hasn't finished recording yet. I need quiet. After Capricorn is Aquarius. So the eldest hears me, but the baby thinks he can just run things. Excuse me. Aquarius is about friendships, and Aquarius has this thing where they can sometimes allow their friendships to just rule, and that's an issue. Again, same thing with moderation. And Pisces is in Ahmad. Pisces. See, this I'm gonna have to put you in the other room. I can't have you screaming. I won't be heard.